Okay. Alrighty. Well, hello everyone. Thanks for joining tonight. All right, so for those of you who know, tonight is Tea Time Tuesday. I wish we had like a cool, like an intro song, Tea Time Tuesday. But it is Tea Time Tuesday. This is the night where myself and my best friend Seth get on, and we have like a podcast style live, and we try to make you laugh and take your mind off things. So let's go ahead and get Seth on. Oh, I see him already. We'll get we'll get going here real quick. All right, let's see. Water is still boiling. I know. I literally just had my teammate just now. Oh my god.
Hi. Oh my God, my hair. What the fuck's
Oh my
happening?
god. Well,
Um,
you look stunning.
well, hi, sunshine.
Hello,
Oh my
darling.
goodness.
How are you doing?
I'm good. It was really, really a nice day. The dogs got to be outside almost all
Good.
day.
That's
And
awesome.
so now they are all knocked out from being insane outside, but I'm so glad. And
Oh, good. That's
I
awesome.
got to feed my squirrels and my crows and it's been a pretty good day. Anytime I've been sitting on the couch, I fall asleep though, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
But,
me too, actually. I
yeah.
was Dominic got home with Vera and we made dinner and I was just like, I just feel like out of it. And I was like, I need to go lay down for like at least 30 minutes.
Yep.
So I laid down for 30 minutes.
Well,
I think it did something. I don't know, but
we were working until I don't know, almost 4:30 my time, so like 6 your
yeah,
time.
I was
So
crocheting last night.
so
Yeah,
we
I
were up
was.
working for quite some time too.
Mhm.
So hi Chucks, of course you may join. Um, well, you got to say hi to everyone if you're gonna just sit on my damn
Oh,
lap.
oh, hello. Yes.
Sit on my lap, be a good boy. But but yeah, otherwise it's been a good day. I got some soaps finished, which I've I just knew it was going to take forever. So I'm like, well, I better sit down on the couch and doze off. And so I did, and then I was like, dang it. I got up all quick and finished that. Then I showered and cleaned up. Please don't drink my coffee. That's so weird. Why don't you go over here? That's so weird. Don't do that. I think he likes the cream I put in it or something, but
Probably, yeah.
it's so weird. I don't need him any hyper at all. But yeah, I've avoided a lot of social media, which is wonderful.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I've done that as well. I
yeah.
really, I'm sure a lot of people on here know, like it's just been like information overload, I think, lately, and it's actually making me very, very, I think depressed is probably the right word.
Yep.
Um, because anytime I'm not actively doing something, I start to get depressed. Like I don't know. And that's not my usual. So I've had to kind of take a step away and really only come on if I'm doing stuff that's like work related or I've had readings. So like that's really
Hmm.
the only time I interact with people right now is if I have clients. Other than that, I've just been kind of focused on, I've been making, little Eros
Yeah.
dolls. That's literally
Yes.
my life right now, is just making dolls. So,
Yeah.
um, but
Uh,
it's really, really, I don't want to say bad because I feel like that's fear mongering, but it's really overwhelming right
it
now. I'm like
is
very,
overwhelming right now.
very
It's,
anxious. What day was it? It was like Sunday, or Saturday night. Um, for those of you who don't know, my mom works for the IRS, and she got that email, and that was shocking.
yeah,
It was overwhelming. Is I'm just gonna use overwhelming because I don't want to be like it's doom and gloom.
it
It was
was
overwhelming.
overwhelming.
It was really overwhelming, and I had to deal with that. And then Sunday, I really, Seth and I really didn't talk all day Sunday because we both were just like we didn't know what to do. We didn't know what was going on, so we just kind of stayed in our own little world. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's why I was like, we need to really prioritize trying to have normalcy and doing our lives like we normally do because,
Hmm.
I also have like a stress breakout right now, so it's weird. It's a weird time, but I don't know. So that's why I figured if we talk today, we let people know, hey, you're not crazy.
Yeah. not
We're also
crazy.
going through it too.
Yeah. So, hi
Hi,
everybody. Oh
everybody.
my
Thanks
goodness,
for
it's
joining
nice to
in.
see everybody. Um,
Mm,
yeah, I
yeah,
I've been doing this thing where I sit outside, and when it's nice, when I feed my crows, only one of them comes close to me. The other ones are all weary, but he's probably like, "That's my friend. You guys can stay over here." But so his name is Edgar, and I film him a
yeah,
lot. He's like a dog. I go out and I'll whistle and say his name, and he flies up to me, and then I give him nuts, and he just loves that. But I've been telling him my problems. I'm like, I need to
yeah.
tell you something that's going on in the world that you're probably not aware of.
It's funny too. They say I think it's in it might be globally, but there's an old saying that if something's going on in the world, you're supposed to tell the bees because the
Yeah.
bees are on like the same frequency as us. And I remember when the queen died, people went out to their beehives. What is it called? The apiaries that they have, and they went out and they told the bees, and the bees went quiet that day in mourning. So I feel like if you have an
Wow.
apiary and you tell your bees what's going on, they're probably gonna have a moment of silence for you today or
I
something. But anyway,
um I this is what I feed my crows. This is like they have to be unsalted. They love breaking them open. Um
yeah, I like
and
breaking
I
things
go
open like
through a bag
chicken
of
nuggets.
these probably every few days or so. I go through a bag. I do get a cheap bag of like unsalted walnuts that are deshelled. They're not super interested in those, but my squirrels like them. I have this squirrel out here named Leroy, and he gets real close. He's the one that sets my cameras off in the house, where
Yeah,
it's all motion in the front yard, motion on the side of the house. It's always him, and you'll see his face, and it's so funny, but he doesn't like the nuts. He likes the walnuts, so I try to give them all
oh,
what they
that is
can.
sweet. I used
Not
to,
knowing anything.
because I used to envy my dog for not knowing anything about the world she lived in. Honestly,
Yeah.
my Padme right now, like I went in to lay in bed, and she spooned me. She put her arm around me, and she just went like that and like sighed into
Oh,
me. And I got up and I just like put the blanket on her, and I was like, could you imagine waking up every day? You are so loved. You don't pay bills. You, like all she has to do, she just has to look at me in like an innocent way, and I give her whatever she wants.
yep.
It's like, imagine, could you? I think
Yeah.
hopefully maybe we will be reincarnated in our next life as a rich person's tiny dog. So that would be amazing.
Yeah, that
That would be
would be.
really nice.
Thank you. I love this mug. It is the Haunted Mansion mug.
It's a nice one.
And and if I break this one, I'm gonna really not be happy. Hey, Cinder, that's enough. I see over here someone's walking their
Mm.
dogs, and our dogs will just bark. Their dogs don't even care. They're like, whatever. Our dogs will act like they're breaking in the house. So I should have grabbed my
That's
headphones. That's what I should grab so I can hear you better. Hold on one second. Let me
you're
grab
totally
them.
fine. Don't even
Oh,
worry.
don't
Not
judge
a
my
issue.
slowness. I'm slow today.
I think it's funny. I texted Seth before we got on here, and I was like, "Hey, I just laid down for 30 minutes. I'm getting up now." And he was like, "Oh, funny you mention. I also just laid down for 30 minutes." So it's just one of those days. I'm if I don't get at least this sounds so ridiculous. If I don't get at least like 30 minutes to an hour every day of a nap, I feel so out of it lately. So I've been really trying to prioritize nap time because I just think that it's necessary at this
Oh,
point in our lives to take a nap every day, at least for a half an hour.
oh yeah.
Um, I
Oh,
was
I can
also,
hear you good now.
oh, good, good, good. I also heard too that there was like a study that was done where people who nap more are less prone to get dementia and have like deteriorating brain related issues as they get older. So I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, maybe if I just take a nap every day, it'll stave off Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hey, Kanaska. It's nice to see you. Um, yeah, naps are important. It's funny because when we were kids, we'd get punished and have to take a nap, and we'd fight it, and now I'm like, dude, when can I take a
Oh
nap?
my God,
Like,
I plan out my day around my 32-hour nap. I
Mhm.
seriously, I'm like, okay, I have these clients in the morning. Okay, then I take a 30-minute nap in the afternoon. I do my next thing, and that's how I plan out my day.
It,
Um,
it's helpful that way,
Napping is
honestly.
good. I gotta tell you, I
Yeah.
listen, if you don't budget a nap into your day, try budgeting 30 minutes. Try
Yeah.
30 minutes if you don't do it. I'm telling you, if it goes now listen, this is dangerous because if it goes over the threshold of 2 hours, you will feel like crap. You will
Hmm.
not feel good. You will
Yeah.
wake up with a headache. I've noticed that if I nap for longer than an hour and a half, I usually feel like crap. I might as well just go to bed for the rest of the day and sleep for 40 hours.
Yeah.
But if you do a short nap, short little burst, it really helps.
I'm good with
Sometimes.
that too. Yeah, the shorter ones are better. Otherwise, I wake up a super cranky mofo,
I
and
do
that's
too.
no fun for anybody.
Yeah, I do too.
So,
I also
I'm
wake
like,
up like
damn.
so dehydrated lately too. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. I wake up every day and I'm
Yeah.
just like, I don't know. You ever see the SpongeBob meme where he's all dried out and he's like, water?
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel when I wake up in the morning. I feel like a sponge all dried out. I don't know what's wrong with
That's so funny. Oh my
me.
gosh.
What's wrong? I don't
I've
know.
been I've been good at staying hydrated lately.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, you
like
have to, otherwise I'm gonna beat you up.
I know, and so the first thing I do when I wake up now is I drink a huge thing of water while my coffee is brewing, and just to really get that in my system first of all,
Yeah.
and then take what I need to take, and then I'll have my coffee. Then I drink water almost the rest of the day, but today I'm like, man, I need when I got off the couch, I'm like, man, I need to make some coffee.
Yeah,
I need to
no.
function,
Yeah,
and so.
I've noticed if I don't it's so getting older is weird because I remember being in
Hmm.
my early 20s and I could have three almonds and like sunlight and I'd be fine. And
Yeah.
I'm at the point now where if I don't have something, like if I wake up, if I don't eat something within the first hour of being awake, I'll get a migraine.
Yeah.
And then if I don't drink something also within the first hour of being awake, I will literally be done for the day. My whole day is ruined.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's just part of getting older. I don't know what it is, but I've
I
noticed
th
recently.
it has to be. Hi, Jennifer up the street. Um uh I'm all looking, I'm like, where is she? It was a nice day today, Jennifer, huh? Um but yeah, and getting old, like the appearance of getting older, like I always like to stay relatively young and take care of my skin and, spend the extra on certain skincare products to make sure that I look young, but my insides are like, this fucking sucks. Everything
Yeah.
hurts. I'm like, I don't know how to make you normal in there.
Oh my
So,
God.
um, on tabs, codeine for pain. I know. It's weird because I was on something similar to, well, it was Norcos. I was on Norcos for a while after a car accident, and those seriously dry up your colon, your stomach, everything that's important. It just dries it up, and
Mm,
so you have to drink almost double of everything. I lost 25 pounds. I started going to the gym, and I'm feeling great.
that's
I'm really proud of
awesome.
you.
That's
I'm
so awesome. I'm really
I'm
happy.
supposed to I'm supposed to just walk 20 minutes a day and I can hardly do that. Um I have to, but now it's nice enough where I just wish there wasn't so many tourists in my spots,
Yeah,
like I own
I
them,
get
but
that.
it's just I want to go. Well, the last couple times it was so muddy you couldn't even walk up the trails or anything from all the snow melting. But the tourists, they just it's so packed right, and everyone's just smoking weed on the trails. And I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
want to smell this.
You,
I don't want to be in crowds.
I had said to you the other day too, because in Seth's area, one of the wildfires that had started was because of tourists who came in who didn't put out their
Hmm.
fire, or they had set a fire and there was a fire advisory. And I said to him, I
Yep.
was like, let's hope they don't throw a cigarette down, or let's hope they don't start a freaking campfire or something like that because it's been
Yeah.
pretty dry.
Yeah.
Just,
And
ugh,
they don't realize too, like hiking up we're already at super high altitude here, but
mm,
hiking up Pikes Peak is the highest altitude in this area. And thinking that you can like smoke a joint or smoke a cigarette while you're hiking up that is insane. I can't even breathe up the top.
No, I
I've been
couldn't.
there
I'd come down with
maybe.
emphysema. I would. I
Oh
just,
yeah, I've been like to the top of Pikes Peak twice in my entire life, and both times it's so hard to breathe. It's scary,
yeah.
and so. But um, I love to do intervals on my treadmill. That's what I think I need to get
Honestly,
is like
yeah. Or like, the
treadmill.
small little walking treadmill, like the little walking pad ones that you
Mhm.
can just do that in your house. I've been,
That's true. That fold up.
yeah, the ones that fold
Yeah.
up. So you
Hmm.
could always get something like that. I mean, like I always see them on TikTok Shop, and people are like, they do like the fashion walk where they
Yeah.
change their outfits and they're walking on that mini treadmill thing. You could do that.
Oh yeah. I
Um,
kind of want one of those
it
now.
just folds up. You can just slide it into a little tight space.
Huh.
I don't think it would be that. Um, I don't think it would be that ridiculous in price either, realistically. But
Yeah.
also too, you could always check Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes they have them.
Yep.
They do.
So some Facebook Marketplace is an interesting thing. I'm going to sell all my dress forms because when we had our huge like clothing business and we did all that for a long time, like it was really fun, but now I can't see good enough to sew.
Oh my god.
And so
Do we have to get you
uh,
bifocals?
I do, I have them. Um,
Let me see.
I do for real. Oh my
Let
God,
me
don't
see.
judge me. Don't judge me, but look how
You actually
clear.
kind of have. Wait. I kind of like it. Wait, let me see. Do like a little, like a little. Oh. I like it. Why don't you
I,
wear them?
I have a black pair too.
That
And
looks great.
yeah, so and I mean I could see the edges on buildings. I'm like, ooh, these are good.
Wait
I
a
can really
second.
see things.
There's edges to build. I gotta get my prescription changed.
Thank you guys. I'm weird with glasses because I'm super clumsy and I tend to break
Mm,
things. And so I have to get cheap pairs because they will be broken or lost
yeah.
soon. So
Yeah. Don't
so I have a
sleep in them. That's my problem.
no.
I
See,
fall asleep like this, like literally like this.
yep.
I'm an idiot. I don't know what's wrong with me. And like I have to wear these things every
Mhm.
day of my life. I have one
Yeah.
pair. What's
Yeah.
wrong?
Yeah. My pair that I wear at nighttime when I have to take my contacts out, um, those I've slept. I mean,
Oh,
they're all bent
yeah.
and I'm
Hmm.
like, and they were so expensive. I'm like, man, I can't do expensive glasses anymore. I'm too
No,
clumsy.
you're better
Thank
off.
you.
You should just get the prescription and then order them. That's I think what we're gonna do
That's
this time
that's a
around
good
because
idea.
you can get a couple different pairs and you could be a
Yeah.
fashionista. You can have your runway pair, you can have your morning gallivant pair, you can
Yeah.
have your grocery trip wear. It's
Yeah. I'm
yeah.
gonna start to travel. Like when I go to the store, I can't read. I don't know who thought it was so good of an idea to make it like 0.00005 font size for like ingredients on labels and stuff. But
I
I'm
think there's probably a
like,
conspiracy as to why it is so small, realistically.
I,
I mean, you have to go in there with a magnifying glass, like, how
yeah.
many minutes do I have to set this for?
And when I was there the other night, there's this, I don't know, this kid's probably 12 or 13 near me. And I was looking at it was pomegranate juice and I couldn't read it. And I said, could you do me a favor? Could you use your young eyes and tell me if you see the word sodium and tell me what it says after that? And so he did for me. He was really a good sport about it. Was like 1,500 milligrams of sodium. I'm like, no, we're not doing
Is
that.
that salt water? What?
It's I don't know why salt is so heavy in everything right now.
Mm,
Or maybe it's always been like that. And yeah, and that's a good idea. Taking a picture and blowing it up.
yeah,
That's a good
that's a
idea,
good idea, Cynthia. Actually, now that I
actually.
think about it.
So
Or
yeah,
you're
that's a really good idea.
translating. It's like, sorry, excuse me, I don't know how to read. I have to be told.
Forgive me why I can't read.
Forgive me, my
But
eyes are broken. I can't read. I might as well be blind,
yeah.
actually.
Just so you know, sorry, my lips are all looking somehow. I'm like, ooh, that does not look good.
He's putting chapstick on. He's got
Hmm.
really sexy glasses. What are you
Plump them
doing?
up. Sodium is in everything. Oh my God. And it's crazy because recently, like I was I was drinking a lot of salt. I just didn't realize there was so much. Like, you're not supposed to have more. Okay, I take that back. If you're athletic and work out, then you can have a lot of sodium intake because you sweat it out. I am not that person. And so I stand in one place and pour oils, make candles, make soaps. And so 3,000 milligrams a day of salt is
It's too high.
way
Too high.
high. So I have to keep it between 500 and 1,000
Mm.
for your body to function normally. And that's been really hard because, man, I want to buy some freaking Girl Scout cookies and eat an entire box, and their sodium levels are insane. I'm like, damn, man. Like,
Just, have one, dip it in water,
expand it. Ooh.
expand it,
I'm one big cookie.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
1,500 is typical for most people. Because I'm on blood pressure medicine,
Mm,
it
hmm.
has to it
Be
be
within
a
the
little
limits. Yeah.
different. Yeah, it kind of sucks. Well, thanks, Dad, for gifting me. You didn't leave me shit really when you died, but you did give me your blood pressure crap.
Yeah.
Like, that's great of you.
Mercy
Thanks,
is
Dad.
gone.
Fist bump, boom.
Oh my God.
Man, my dad was always taking a handful of pills all the time. I'm like, what are all those pills? He's like, oh, in the military, you just get different stresses. And I always thought heart stuff was due to the military because of my dad blaming West Point for everything. He blamed it
He
for
had a
everything.
grudge, okay?
He
Your
did.
father was like a triple Leo, wasn't he? Okay.
Hmm.
No, but he was never in the wrong. Nothing he did caused it. It was everyone else, okay?
Yeah.
So his heart
Yeah.
problems with his West Point.
Yeah,
That's
and
what.
his all his nine wives.
Yeah, it also could be his nine wives. I don't know. I mean, I
Yep.
if I had nine wives and
Yeah.
three children with all of them all over the world, I think I also would have high blood pressure and probably high cholesterol. But
I
you know,
imagine running from that to avoid paying child support everywhere you
yeah,
go.
you know what? You just every couple of years, you start over and
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, seriously. Man, I have a friend that has thyroid disease,
mm,
and
mm-hmm.
no matter what she does, I mean, she's got like this perfect like hourglass figure. To me, she looks just amazing. Like, I don't see it, but to her, she's just like, I can't lose weight. This is as small as I'm gonna get. I'm like, well, I mean, she still trains like gr- um trains with the not a girdle. Yeah, girdle, I guess. But and so her figure is intentionally like that because she used to
Oh,
do burlesque and
like a
everything.
waist trainer, like a faja.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so but I think she looks great. And I'm like, you're over 40, you can still rock your body, dude.
yeah.
Like, who gives a shit? But
I think it comes
yeah.
down to what people tend to forget because like diet culture is coming back. It's like Y2K body again, which is like
Yeah,
scary where people look emaciated. That which to me looks scary.
like
Um,
Ozempic.
like Ozempic, yeah. What people forget is that if you are living an
Corset.
active, yeah, of course I am. She's probably
Mm.
waist training though to keep herself like that,
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yep.
But if you are living a somewhat active lifestyle and you're eating good, you know what I mean? And if you're not
Hmm.
losing weight, like obviously there probably is something else going on. It's not the actions you're taking.
Yeah.
Sometimes like some people are just a little bit bigger. Like I have come to the fact like I have very wide hips. I do. And it used to make me so self-conscious for so long because like when as I grew older, my pant size went up because my hips
Yep.
got bigger. And
Yep.
it's weird not fitting into jeans that you did when you were 15, but at the same time it's
Yeah.
like unfortunately I'm approaching 30 very quickly and I feel like that's just part of life. I
Just
wish that
changes.
people, yeah, you just change, like your body changes, you don't stay the same forever. Also, you get to a point where you don't, it doesn't matter what gender you are, you don't want to look like a 15-year-old boy anymore, you don't
No.
want to, like, so I wish that it was encouraged more of like, if you are taking care of yourself, it doesn't matter what your size
I
is, it doesn't matter
agree.
what you look like. as long as you feel good, who cares? You
If
know, who
I
cares? As
if
long as you're doing it for yourself at the end of the day, who cares
yeah,
what you look like? So
I agree. If I can look down and still see my penis, I know I'm in shape.
that's how, listen, that's how I feel too. If I can look down and I go, oh, okay, like I can see everything's right there. You
Yeah.
know, that's all I care. It's there. I can see it. That's all I care about. That's
I
fine. You
mean,
know,
it's kind of
that's for me
true.
though. Like that's how I
Like,
feel about
yeah,
myself. So
yeah. I judge myself pretty harsh. Like
I do too.
I'm I will tear my body apart and nitpick, and most of the time I'll just try to get a tattoo to cover an area that I don't like.
Yeah, that's what I
And
do too.
but then we run out of room. I'm like, crap, man.
That's it.
I'm
Just
like,
like
my swallow
darn.
looks like an eagle. I'm like, I gotta get some training and lose this
Hmm.
weight, but and I just need to,
Yeah.
and cutting down on a lot of things, for real. I don't know how like these silver foxes, like in their 50s, have like a 15 pack and they just look so amazing that age. I didn't think your body could do that when you're older, but I've never tried either. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I have gay culture ruined a lot of things.
Yeah.
It,
I think
you
it
know,
set like an unrealistic precedent for what like for especially for younger gay men, what they should look like as they
yep.
age too.
Hmm.
And I don't know, it's like it's almost like a toxic sense of self-image that was imposed on a younger generation, unfortunately. I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of the men in like the 80s and 90s specifically during like the peak of
Yeah.
like I'm sexy and cool. I think it set the standard of what you should look like. And unfortunately, I think that as time goes on, like people's bodies change. Like our bodies don't look the same as people's did in the 1920s and 30s. They just don't.
No.
We don't
Oh
even
my
have the
God,
same
no.
facial structure anymore.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? So our bodies have changed. And I'm not saying that like we're all bigger people by any means, but we aren't, I don't know, like we're just built
Yep.
differently now. We look different now. And I think that a lot of us like we don't have like the 70s and 80s bodies anymore. Like we
Mm-mm.
look different, you know? It is
Yeah,
what it is. So
it is. And it's great. Like, uh, there's like a lot of there's a lot of great things with gay culture, but one thing it does is it will ruin a man's
yeah.
confidence in who they are. Because like to me, like I'm 5'10", I weigh 175, and hey, uh-uh. That damn dog, I don't know whose dog that is out there. Um, but um, but in the gay culture, like I'm gay fat, like I'm still too big, and not in a muscular way. And I'm just none of those things. I've never cared.
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
and I have like a couple people I know that are gay in real life. Like it's hard because it's a very critical lifestyle to be part of, and I don't fit into that mold. We don't put rainbows around the house. Like we're very different, like
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I definitely understand. Because I
So
think that it comes down to, um, is it like a, is it like an aesthetic choice to be
mm,
like, you know, very like fit and proper and I want to always be lusted after? Or are you comfortable in saying, no, like I want to be married and I want to have a house and a family and like this is what I'm prioritizing is like a comfortable life,
yep,
you know? And I think that when people get to that age, that's when that dilemma comes in of like, do I want to stay forever looking good and being lusted after, you know, by the general population, or do I want to look like I'm happy in my life and I'm comfortable in
yep,
my life and I'm comfortable with myself?
yeah.
And you know, it is what it is. You got to do what makes you happy for you. But I
Hmm.
think that, like you said, unfortunately, within the queer community, it
It
is there's
it's
a
pretty
lot of pressure
critical.
for gay men for sure.
Yeah. Because, like, when you're 20 in the gay community, at 21, you're 50. Like, you're already a daddy at that point. So it's
Wink to
like,
death. Yeah.
twink to daddy in a heartbeat. And so it's kind of interesting about
Yeah.
that. And so it gives you body issues, for sure. And that's my one goal in my life is to look at myself and be like, I look good today, like with no clothes
Yeah.
on, which I never do ever. I'm like, oof, let's get dressed. Like you basically glow in the dark, you can see through your skin, you're so white. Like you know,
Yeah.
when I'm out gardening and stuff, I turn 12 shades of tan quick. And
Yeah.
so, you know, but in winter, I just am a glow stick and probably have the braking sound with it when I walk. But um, yeah,
Excuse me,
seriously,
that
it's
was my
crazy.
hips. I
I
was
know.
getting up.
I'm like, even when I like my pajamas to go to bed cover everything. Like, I just don't want to see my body most of the
Yeah,
time. It's so funny.
I get it.
But it's just one of those things, I guess. And I hate being self-conscious. And I thought maybe it would go away when I got older, but now it's just like I don't know. I just
Yeah.
still judge myself so much, you know?
Yeah. I
So,
I think that's something that comes with age. Like I would assume as you get older, it might
hmm.
change and your perspective of yourself will change too.
Yep,
Because I've noticed even my own perspective of myself has changed in the last, I would say even in the last 10 years, you know, like how the shift has happened for me.
yep,
It's weird. Women's people who are born, you know,
yeah,
female, your body changes if you stay on like the estrogen path of your entire life. Your body's going to change,
yep.
especially um like I'm not looking forward to menopause at all.
No.
I that is a terrifying concept to me, and the hormonal changes that you go through with that,
Mhm.
like it makes your body change, and I think a lot of people don't um think of that as younger people of like,
I
hey,
think
like I
so.
have to grapple with the concept, like my body's going to age, I'm going to get old, like that's going to
Yeah,
happen. And even noticing the shift of like 20 into 30 right now for me, I've noticed like, I mean, even just the way my body feels is different. And it's not
yep,
because like I don't really live like a sedimentary life by any means. And, you know, I don't really eat like crap, but I still feel
yeah,
aging, which is crazy. And I
yep.
understand. It's also crazy to think too, like our parents having kids at like 20, 21. I
Oh my
can't
God, I
even
know.
imagine it. Like, and I'm 28. I'm still scared of having a teenage pregnancy like right now. Like I'd have to call my
Yeah,
mom and be like, "Can I do this? Like, is this am I all right?" You know?
yeah,
But it's very, very strange having to grapple with the fact of like getting older and
yep. It
mourning
is.
your youth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think that like body positivity is something that like can't be taught to you. Like you have to find it within yourself. And I think that that is something that comes with age is like acceptance. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
I know. I'm pretty nervous because now in less than a year I'll be 50.
I don't.
And
I think that's a lie. I think they got that wrong on
I'm
your birth
totally
certificate.
yeah, like they screwed it
Yeah, they messed
up.
that one up. Yeah, they did.
But my doctor's just like, you know, at 50, I have to check your prostate. I'm like, "Yeah, my prostate's been getting checked since I've been a kid, so I'm good. You go for it, man."
I'd be like,
You
sir,
know?
if this is you hitting on me,
I
it's
know. Well,
working.
that's a weird way to hit on me, but okay,
You could
you're my
just ask me
doctor.
out. Take me on a date first. God, what do you?
He
Jeez.
would he would probably I always push his comfort zone anyways, and he's just like, "Oh man, your humor. I
Yeah.
don't know if I could adjust to this." I'm like, "Did you grow up Mormon or something? Like, what's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I don't think you have enough
Yeah.
trauma.
No.
That's why."
No.
So,
Mm-mm.
but he cracks me up. He just goes with he's an amazing
That's good.
doctor.
I'm
And if I ever need him
glad.
at 4 in the morning, I could call him and he would answer. Like, he's
That's
amazing. But
good. Is that the concierge doctor that?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's good.
Yep. So, yeah, it's I'm pretty proud of it because the rate my life was going, I would I was doing an 8 ball of cocaine every week with friends. When I say friends, I was stealing it from my dad and doing it with friends.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I was an alcoholic through most of my 20s. Would mix, give me a handful of pills, I'll take it and see what it does. Um, I mean, I really never thought that I would ever make it past my 30s. And so I'm pretty proud of myself. Now I drink coffee. That's it.
Well,
That's the most exciting thing I
you
do.
have to make it past your.
Yeah,
You have to go as far as you physically can because I
yeah.
cannot live on this mortal coil without you.
No, it's one of my driving forces is I have you, I have my mom, my animals, Byron. I have all these things I have
Mhm.
to. like, and I have an oak tree that I need to watch get huge and
Correct.
enormous, you
Correct.
know.
Yes,
So
I have to live as long as physically possible out of spite at this point
I need,
too.
oh,
So,
oh my God, yeah,
I have to see the
approval.
world change or I cannot die. I will become
Yep.
a lich, okay? I will
Yeah.
become a force that consumes the universe if
I want,
things do not
I
get
want to
better.
watch my enemies die
I need to
before
watch
me.
my enemies die. Oh my God.
All
Yeah,
a
and
Viking
oh,
voice.
100%. And like not to be morbid too, but because I'll be 29 this year. And my dad passed at 31, and as I get closer to that age, anybody who's lost a parent when they were relatively young, it's really odd
Yeah,
getting to that age and surpassing that age to me. Is I don't know, like it's a weird feeling. So I never thought that I would get past 25. I think like that was
yeah.
my cap, as somebody who's always struggled with depression my entire life. And now I'm approaching 30 and I'm like, well, all right, well,
Hmm.
I might get to do 10 more years, I guess, like
Yeah.
it's like I guess I'll do it.
Yep.
So I don't know, yeah,
Hmm.
it's very, very strange approaching the age that your parent was when they passed and like going past it.
Yep.
Um,
I agree.
because I don't know, like it's like I don't know, like I'm trying to figure out how to conceptualize it. Is it the fact that I can't believe that I get to have experiences beyond the age that he passed at? I
Yeah.
think that's really what it is.
I think that's what it
And like
is for
and like
real.
growing old and everybody tells me, "Oh, you look so much like him." And it's like, "Oh, well, I guess I'll get to see what he would kind of look like as an old person." You know
Yep.
what I mean? So,
Yep. Yeah. I mean, fortunately, like my mom said, the family, those women live to like 100, I don't really want to live that long. I would,
God,
you
no,
know,
Jesus, my aunt
maybe
did that.
like,
She got
yeah,
it. You did
yeah.
it, lady.
n-
You're the
And
100-year-old. You're the centurion. We don't need anyone else. Thank
yeah,
you.
go to town.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
it's crazy. My dad passed at 40. Oh,
Oh
see,
yeah,
and
I
you know,
understand. Yeah,
my dad passed old. I mean, my dad was 20 years older than my mom.
yeah.
So, well, like 23 years older than my mom. Um, so when he passed, he was already older. And, and he just always used to joke when he started, what was it called in his knees? Gout, I think
He
that's
had,
what it called.
he had gout in his knees.
Yeah.
What do
And
you have
so,
squishy bones in his knees, basically? Is
yeah.
that what it is?
And
Okay.
and after that, he's like, I think I'm ready to die. Like he would say that all the time. I'm just ready to die. Well, my knees are going. I'm ready to die.
I
And I'm
guess you
like,
just make the choice
damn.
once you get to a certain age, huh? You're just like,
Yeah,
I think I'm done. I
I
just
know.
think I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Then he lived 15 more years after he got gout, and he was cranky the entire time. But
Jesus Christ.
so, but I've never met someone so much in my life that was so vain. He would never take his own life, but he was also very ready to die whenever he just didn't care.
I mean,
So,
I'm telling you, it's that triple Leo energy. I can't believe he didn't live to be 100, just sheerly out of
um,
attaining the title.
mhm,
I'm very,
I agree
very
with
surprised
that.
by it.
Yeah, I agree with
Um,
that. So it
yeah,
was.
gout, from what I
Mhm.
understand, I knew somebody who had gout, and so does Seth,
Yeah,
actually. And from what I understand, it is very painful.
yeah,
Um, Granted, I think it's quite funny. It's like a king's disease,
yeah,
so it's like,
it is.
you have a medieval problem? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
What
it is.
happened?
It is a very medieval thing,
It's a very
which is,
medieval issue to acquire in your life. I
yeah,
can't believe that. That would be like
that is
saying,
kind of
I
funny.
got bubonic plague. I'd be like, from
Yeah,
who? Who
from
did this to
where?
you? Where did you get it? At
Although
the
now
store? Did you buy it? How did you, where did you get
at
infected?
at this point, if somebody said that to us now, I wouldn't even be surprised
If they said they had
anymore.
bubonic plague, I'd be like, great.
Yeah, great. Bird flu's cousin. That's wonderful. Let's just
Awesome. Wow.
thin out the
Well,
herd.
did you see that there's a measles outbreak right now? Somebody had measles in Texas. I forget which area of Texas it was, but
Mm.
they potentially infected like tens of thousands of people because they went to the biggest touristy places on
Uh,
Valentine's Day weekend. I know. It's like great, wonderful. That's amazing. That's so amazing.
Wow. I
Um,
think. I think I had a measles vaccine when I was like a kid, like a toddler.
We get so
But
the what happens is anybody who was born after 1968 and got vaccinated before 1976 would
yeah,
have to get another shot. Um,
uh,
if you were born after 76, and the reason is because the shot got, like the vaccine, it got more potent, I guess is the right word for it. So when we're children, we get the first one between like 12 and 16 months, and the second one's
yep,
between like 4 and 6 years old. Most people, so you should be fine because you're 76, right?
yep,
Theoretically you should be fine. You probably got your second one when you were like 4 or 5.
yep,
So if you're
yeah.
born after that, you should be
Oh,
good.
good.
If you're born before that and you don't have your vaccine record for measles, I don't know, like maybe just you can always get a booster. It's like
Yeah,
97% effective, so
yeah, that's true. We did a. I had chicken pox bad when I was a kid. I remember everything. I remember everything itched so bad. My mom put that pink stuff all over
a calamine lotion.
calamine
Yeah.
lotion over everything. And
Yeah.
I remember that. And but it was after I got chicken pox I developed the worst migraines. I had migraines
Well, that makes sense.
off and
It's
on.
autoimmune, and
Yep,
migraines are sometimes affected by the white blood cells in your brain, just
yep,
autoimmune.
yep. I had
That
them
makes
for
sense.
years and it was terrible, terrible.
I
So
am afraid of you getting shingles in your
oh,
like 60s. That's what I'm
I
afraid of.
I'm pretty scared of that. My doctor did suggest I get a shingles vaccine.
Yeah,
He said you're gonna feel it. You're not gonna feel very good for a few days, but you should get this. And I was just like, okay. I'm like, well, it's been around a long time. I should probably because the C word one, like
I
we
wouldn't. No,
did those.
right.
No,
Honestly,
never.
I no, I wouldn't do it
No,
again right now.
no.
But things like that, because it's been around so long, and like there's like actual studies over decades. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, that
Yep.
makes sense. Yeah, the shingles one. The reason I know so much about shingles is because my grandma has had. I want to say she's had 3 flare-ups.
Oh.
I want to say, and she just turned. Oh, today's her birthday. Actually, she just turned
Oh
77 today. So, um, but she had so many flare-ups when I was a kid of shingles, and it just, oh my god, it looked so painful. It looked painful. It looked really
man.
painful. And I don't know if she got the shingles vaccine or not. I'm not certain, but from what I understand, that is another one that is like super potent. They've almost eradicated chickenpox at this point. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like shingles is unfortunately like you get chickenpox as a child, you're gonna get shingles as an adult. Like it's like it just works like that. Um,
Gotcha.
and I think that really it was, I guess it's like our generation, like kids born in the 90s, like that just wasn't a thing anymore. Like I didn't know anybody who had
Wow.
chickenpox as kids. Whereas they used to have chickenpox parties, they put all their kids together so everybody has it, so it's done.
Yeah.
And now, when you get into like your 50s and 60s, unfortunately, you get shingles. It's
Mm-hmm.
horrible. It's because it's autoimmune. That's why.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. I need to plan on getting that. He
Mm.
suggested doing it like on a Friday and try to sleep through the weekend.
Yeah, I would do
And so
it.
it's
I
like,
mean, listen,
okay. Yeah.
a lot of people end up getting it. A lot of people end up unfortunately getting it
Yep.
if they don't get the shingles vaccine. So I would
Yeah.
just, I don't know, consider it. Just
Yep.
consider it.
Yeah. The immune stuff
A
is hard
hundred
for me.
percent.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
so, yeah.
Buffy's right. If you're autoimmune, like
Hmm.
anything, if you
Yep.
have disease or if you're immunocompromised or anything like that, you are high up there on the risk factor for getting shingles.
Yep.
So
Then I will
it's
definitely do that. And
just go to your
so,
doctor, be like, my best friend scared me about shingles, and I
and
think I need a shot now.
I'm all listening.
Listen, I'm itching. I'm itching today.
So, because I do get Kenalog twice a year, which is it's like a mild steroid, but it because my body gets the worst allergies. Like I
Yeah,
could take a handful of allergy pills and have no effect.
yeah,
And so I get that twice a year, and I swear I call it a magic shot because it really works.
yeah.
And I won't get any eczema flare-ups, nothing. I just have to stay on top of that. And
That's good though.
but it is, yeah. So um oh yeah. I met somebody with lupus.
Yeah.
Um yeah,
Usually, if it
okay.
runs in your family, it again. you're more prone to getting things that are autoimmune related. So even if you don't end up with lupus, if like your parent had lupus, you have a high risk of having something else that's autoimmune related. So
Yep, that makes sense.
unfortunately,
Yep,
yeah, so you have to be like so careful with things,
yep.
because you're like borderline immunocompromised at that point. So
Yeah,
kind of
it's so
sucks.
crazy.
It
I mean,
sucks.
it's hard enough finding just a good massage therapist here anymore. Most of them just,
God, I couldn't even. I don't even know where to look for something. I listen.
me
If my
neither.
aunt, if my aunt is on here or she watches this, my aunt Kelly is a professional masseuse. I'm at the point where it's like, just come up and we'll just all come to you, and then
Hmm.
she'll just do it for us because
Yep.
she used to be a masseuse at the some of the casinos in Vegas, and she used to like do it for famous people,
Yeah.
and now she lives in Florida. But the last massage I got, I think I was 18 years old, and that is not an
Uh,
exaggeration. I can't even
it's
tell you. I'd say
it's
10
been a
years
few
ago.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
10 years ago I got a
Yeah.
massage.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been like a few years since I've had a good one now. I think at least two or three,
I think
but
it was 2 years ago because a
yeah.
gentleman came to your house, did he not?
Yeah, and he was my favorite, and then he moved to California because he got hired by a huge company
Mm,
to do it there, and then the other guy that we met that was, oh man, he was so good. He would like get on the table and use his elbows and just work your back, and it felt so good. He ended up retiring.
mm,
I'm like, son of a bitch, stop retiring and leaving. Like,
yeah.
so yeah. Massage Envy here is okay.
Is that a chain? It
Yeah,
is,
I
right?
just don't. Yeah, I don't like that it's so corporate.
Yeah,
Like, and
yeah.
most of them are just out of school, and like, I mean, really, I need to like be violently abused almost in a massage, just because my
Yeah.
body's so out of whack. But
I That's the thing too, is
Mhm.
I don't even know what I would have to ask for at this point if I were to get a massage. I mean, like Dominic
Mhm.
massages my back,
Yeah,
and sometimes I have to be like, you can go harder. Like I
yeah,
promise. Like it's not gonna hurt at this point.
yeah,
I was a firefighter for a little bit.
yeah,
So
yeah,
my back, I have like a little bit of a wider back than the average 5'5" person, and my back is like, sometimes like the knots in my back are so bad it feels like I like threw my back
yep,
out, and I that happened to me the other day. I was so stressed out, I thought I threw my back out from stress.
yeah.
So there you go, like that's me aging. Like
Yeah, and
again.
it, I
That's a
mean, and
crazy way.
it'll hurt to like breathe in because your
Mm-hmm.
back hurts. It's
Oh my God,
so
yes,
weird.
100%.
So,
And do you know what else too? I for a little bit, I considered going to a chiropractor, and then I made a mistake of like 2 a.m. doom scrolling the hashtag chiropractor, hashtag on TikTok, and the amount of horror stories there are about going to the chiropractor, it's like shocking. I don't
yeah,
think I could ever. I really am so petrified of it at this point. I would rather go to a masseuse.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
rather just go to a
I,
masseuse.
I like our chiropractor because he's $25 no matter what. He doesn't accept insurance. Just pay 25 bucks.
Mm,
But you lay on this table he has that moves. And so the table actually is doing a lot more of the work. He's just adjusting you to get those spots. And yeah, so um, I do like
yeah,
him for that a lot. But and he's never hurt me. I
oh,
always
that's
walk
good.
out taller. I'm like, dang, I'm like, Travis, you made me tall. I mean, he's like 6'5" or 6'6", and he's a really amazing guy. He's really amazing, and he makes a lot of money. So I really like that a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Dominic has me. I walk on his back. It's great.
that's, oh my gosh, that's so fun.
It
That's so
hurts.
funny. Yeah.
Just make sure they
Yeah.
are
That
careful when they adjust your neck. Yeah, that's what
yeah.
scares me. I'm gonna be honest. The I saw a video of this guy, and he got his neck adjusted, and it I want to say, I don't remember what the actual terminology is because I'm not gonna pretend I do, but it
Mm-hmm.
essentially, like, one of the discs pinched a nerve in his neck,
Mm.
and he went paralyzed on his left side and had to go to physical therapy, and he still is in consistent pain constantly to this day,
Whoa.
like a year later.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord Revenge, thank you
Yeah.
so much for buying a badge for us. We really
I know.
appreciate it.
And I
Oh,
think you're Lord of
thanks.
Revenge. You're overseas, right?
He's in
Are
Ireland,
you?
I believe.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
Then we're just gonna come and see
We're just
you
gonna come
because I
see you.
think
We're gonna
we
move
just
down
need
the
to,
road.
yeah, we just need to go to Ireland.
Yeah.
I was looking at places for sale in Scotland. Because there's a lot for sale in Scotland right now. I don't know
Mm.
why. And I'm like, damn, this seems like a lot of money. No, like the
Really not. I know.
equivalent,
And it's
it's
really
like
only a
nothing.
ferry away from Ireland.
Yeah,
You can take a ferry.
it's like all kind of really close. I'm like, dude, I'd be
Yeah.
so down for
So,
that. And because
yeah.
my mom's just like, how would you feel if I just bought like a really big place in Scotland and we just moved there? I'm like, oh, oh,
Yeah.
okay, sure.
Why don't we just do that? Yeah, why don't we
Yeah,
just
yeah.
go? You
We'll
know?
just go and yeah. And so and she has no idea that we joke about that all the time, buying a castle like in Ireland
Oh
and
my
just,
God.
you
It's
know,
not even
all our
funny.
own stuff. So,
Yeah,
but
that
yeah, we
that
really
dual
joke about
citizenship
that.
I have, it really is tempting
Yeah.
these days.
It's more tempting than ever. Go lay down.
All right.
Um, but it really is like more tempting than ever. And the more I think about it, the better it sounds. Like, just to imagine, like, how amazing a simple life would be versus here where we're living in not fear all the time, but I mean, it's pretty
Oh,
borderline fear.
I'm in like a constant state of fight or flight. I think that that's
Yep.
how I feel lately. I constantly feel on the edge of, like, if someone were to yell at me in public, I don't know how I would react. That's how I
Yeah.
am at this, like, that's really
Yeah.
how I am at this point. It
Yep.
happened to you the other day. Like, I don't know how I would react to someone being hostile to me in public right now because I am so, like, on edge, you know? Um,
I
unfortunately.
Man, I tell you what, it's edgy. It's
Yeah, yeah.
weird.
It's weird. It's really
And
weird.
apparently happens in parking lots and it's just if I was with you and somebody said some shit, I would flip out. Like I within a second I flipped out on that guy the
I
other
know.
night in the parking lot
That was so
and
funny. Seth, it was
uh,
like 4 o'clock
it's like what.
in the morning, and Seth sends me a voice memo, like a 5 minute long voice memo. And basically, I mean, the guy, in my opinion, the guy did deserve it. He was an
Yeah,
old
he
person who
did.
had like entitlement
Hmm.
issues.
Hmm.
That's the best way to put it. And I said it to Seth as well that night that this happened. I don't understand what it is about the, like, boomer, like, tail end of the silent generation that
Yeah.
feel almost like entitled to people being respectful to them when they are blatantly and disturbingly not respectful. They
Yeah.
say the most heinous, foul things, and let me tell you something. When people are like, oh, it's a different generation, it's a different time, they were born in a different time. No, screw that. You're
Yeah.
wrong. Because guess what? My nanny turned 100 and she is wonderfully accepting of everyone,
Hmm.
okay? It's not, she was born in 1924, okay? And she's still kicking. She is not a racist and
No.
she's not homophobic, none of it. So
Yep.
it's a lie. You're, people need to stop saving face for people who are blatantly just, I don't know,
Yep.
misbehaved. And that guy, to Seth, he was nasty.
He was.
Nasty. Yeah.
And then he got scared when I
Yeah.
started charging him in the parking lot, screaming in his face. He didn't think that I
Oh
was
my
gonna do
God,
that.
it's funny.
I'm like, listen, buddy, I was only quiet because I shop here all the time. I didn't want people that see me every day to think that I'm some fucking freak. But we're in the parking lot now. I'm like, and I never say shit like this, but I'm like, you drive a Kia Soul, so anything you say, I'm not gonna believe
Yeah,
anyways. Like,
anything you say from this point on is irrelevant because he was calling Seth basically a broke ass because
Mm-hmm.
one of the coffee creamers that Seth gets. I just said coffee like I'm from New York. The
Yeah.
coffee creamer he gets, you know,
Coffee.
he was buying
Yeah.
coffee creamer,
Yeah.
so he was checking out, and it rang up at the full price, but it was
It
on
was,
sale, and he asked,
yeah.
"Hey, why is this ringing up incorrectly?" And the guy had the gall to say something about him, and he basically called him like a broke ass, and it's
Yeah.
like, excuse me, and then he gets out in the parking lot. Seth drives a nice car. The guy drives a freaking like a neon green Kia Soul, and he's like, "You're talking to me about being a brokey, and you're driving a green Kia Soul. Look at my car. Like, stop
Oh
it."
man.
Oh
And
my
and
god.
normally I'm not like that, but that guy had it coming.
Yeah, yeah, no.
I'm all if I could budget money, that's the reason I have a nice car is because I
Correct.
budget money.
Hello. Yes.
And I'm like, man, like the difference between 4.99 for my creamer and 2.79, that's a
That's
good
a good
sale. Like I want to have that
sale.
sale. And so I'm not poor because I asked why isn't the sale ringing up? And apparently, he just pins. He does it to families at that store. But the lady that works there, she told me her Jolene is her name. She's really sweet. She goes, "I'm going to ask him not to be here anymore. He's not allowed here because you're the third or fourth person he's done to in a few days." And I was like, "Damn, man! I mean, I wanted to punch him
I I gotta tell
so
you something.
bad,
Sometime I think it would be considered elder abuse once they're over a certain age, unfortunately. But
just yelling
I
at
think,
him worked. But
you
yeah,
know, I said that out loud. But I think it would be
hmm
considered something, once they're over a certain age, unfortunately.
yeah,
Um,
it was
I just,
crazy.
it's very, I don't know, it just infuriates me when they can, and they do this thing where they stare at you and they're like,
Yeah.
the lead paint, like freaky
Lip-
stare, and it's like, stop looking at me. And you just know when
Yeah.
they're going to say something messed up too. And like, I gotta tell you, my grandparents are, let's see, my grandma, she turned 77
Yeah.
soon. Okay. And my grandfather is 78 or 79, I think, 78 maybe. And they are the funniest, like most open-minded people I've ever met in my entire life. It's not all of them. And it's like a weird mentality that they have of like, we must hold on to the past,
Yeah.
whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
God, just evolve. Why do you think we keep going every 10 years, every 10 years, every 10 years, we
Yeah.
go back in time another 10 years, basically.
It's so funny. Hi, Byron.
Hi, Byron.
Byron. It's probably asbestos.
It's something. You know what it is? It like they probably were, I don't know, they were like nutrient deficient when they were children. They were licking the lead paint off the walls and
They
stuff.
were.
I mean, they come
Yeah.
from the generation where, I mean, think about how bad serial killers were in the 1970s,
They
okay?
were
And
terrible,
they
man.
attribute it most in part to lead.
Yep.
So, um, I don't know. I don't know. I
Yep.
think that a lot of boomers are sociopaths because of their environment that they were raised in and
hmm
environmental factors.
Environmental fact. I mean, even I remember my dad telling me he had to be careful working on. He had a classic
Mm,
car. He had to be careful working on it because there was so much asbestos in it.
yeah,
And I
you
was
can't
like, why
breathe
would
that
they
in
put asbestos in a
because it's
car?
a flame
But
retardant. That's why.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was in
it makes it so that
every
it won't on
houses,
fire.
everything.
Yeah,
Yep. And now since I get it now, but I mean, our house, when we bought our house, they had to check to make sure there was no asbestos.
yeah,
But now houses just burn down. Like I don't know
yeah,
what they're trying to replace it with because yeah, now they just burn down.
yeah.
So
Asbestos will cause mesothelioma.
yeah,
Like,
r-
yeah, radium.
that's
Yeah,
right.
that's another one too. It's
Radium
not
is
even
another
funny. Like
one.
seriously.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yep.
heavy metals in water,
Yep.
food,
Yep.
toys, baby bottles, formula, like things like that back in the day before it was heavily regulated. That's why it's regulated.
Yeah.
Every piece of legislation we have about food, drugs, things like that is written in blood. People died because of it.
Yeah.
That's the reason we have regulations. That's the reason. I don't care what people think. There's a reason things are heavily regulated. It's so that people don't die and our life expectancy
Yeah.
goes up.
Yeah.
And back in the day, literally, people were just dying because there were heavy metals in their food and their
Mm.
water and like just like in their home. If if anybody ever gets the chance, there is a documentary. Is it a documentary? Maybe it's a YouTube video, which I guess is like a documentary, but
Mm.
it talks about electricity in like the 1920s and 30s, okay, in like the 1910s to 1930s.
Yeah.
And they used to have a wire that came down in their kitchen like this from the ceiling, and they plugged every goddamn outlet into that freaking thing. Okay. There's a
Wow.
reason things are heavily regulated. I'm telling you, like it's crazy. But also too, I was a firefighter, so I did have to learn some of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Heavy
thank you so
metal.
much for buying another badge for us. We really appreciate it.
Byron, you're so funny. We are good. We're doing good. Um, yeah, I think it's fun. And then, oh yeah, then in the 40s and 50s, they were eating off Fiesta ware red plates and bowls, which they suggested from the radiation off of it to keep them in your freezer because they're so toxic. And here I have several pieces of them, not in the
Yeah.
house. They stay in storage, but they're worth a chunk of change, but they are full of radiation.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another thing. That and also too, everybody be careful with their vintage Pyrex.
Yeah,
Everybody.
vintage Pyrex,
Vintage
you got,
Pyrex, we will send
I
you to the
think.
hospital if you
Yeah,
let it.
think it's the red, which is actually orange,
Hmm.
um, green, and there's another chartreuse. That's
The
the other one
chartreuse,
that has
yeah.
lead
There
in it
are
and
great
radiation.
productions of it. There
Yeah.
are.
Oh, yeah.
That are
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Also, too, if you, because Seth and I are like avid thrifters and we like antique stores, if you buy vintage or antique glassware, do not, please, for the love of God, eat off of it. Do
No,
not drink out of it.
no,
Don't do it. It will
no.
make you sick eventually. Maybe not right away, but it
Yeah.
will make you sick eventually.
I have a lot of uranium glass, and I have a weakness for uranium glass. I really
It's very pretty.
I really love it. Yeah, Byron over the years has got me some really nice vintage Pyrex stuff.
Yeah, the glassware,
Um,
it's gorgeous. It's
it
so
is.
nice.
We don't eat off it
No,
or use it that way,
no. No,
but
it's decorative. It's like a
yep,
status, It's like
yeah,
I have look at my Pyrex collection,
yeah.
That's what it
It
becomes.
it pretty much is that at this point. The
Dude,
Garfield
glass
mugs from the
glassware. The
80s.
80s.
Well,
No way.
wow.
Really? I didn't know that. That's crazy.
See,
Um,
that's something we would
that's
buy.
some I know. See, like, you know what I mean? Antifreeze
Antifreeze
martinis are my
martinis.
favorite. Me too. A little
Definitely.
squeeze of lemon on the side.
Yeah,
Delicious.
just add some salt, extra sodium. We'll just mix like a lot of sodium with it, cut down the taste, just really
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Whatever. Put a little salt on the rim. Cut the acidity a little. Um,
Oh
but
shit.
oh jeez.
Oh
But
man.
on a serious note, though, some of the like the blue glassware that has the like the silver paint on it. Do you know what I'm
Yep.
talking about? Some of it's like
Hmm.
celestial. We just won some off eBay. We will not be drinking out of it. But it
Mm.
does have lead.
Is
So
it the carnival glass stuff?
I'll send you a picture of it.
Okay.
Where did
Carnival
I put
glass
it?
is like that too. You gotta be real careful with carnival
Yeah, you
glass.
can't.
Mm.
It's not. It's like
Mm.
almost like Whimsigoth. They're the
Yeah.
ones that have like the celestial stars and the moon. Some of them have angels. I think ours have angels. The ones that don't, if you
Yeah.
won.
Oh, I
Um,
know what you're talking
yeah, yeah, they're
about.
really pretty. They're blue. They're
Yeah.
almost like tumbler glasses.
God.
They're gorgeous because we're like I think they're from the 90s if I'm not mistaken. But
Yeah.
even then, you have to be careful because a lot of people are like, oh, there's not lead in things anymore. You should get some of the tester, that
Yeah.
squirty liquid stuff that you can squirt on things. If you go to Five Below and you squirt that on even the shoes, like the foam, like the Croc shoes,
Yeah.
because the molds are lead cast, it leaves lead residue. Every time you put your foot in there, you're getting lead absorbed through your feet. Horrible.
Interesting.
Horrible. You
Interesting.
got to be really careful with lead. It's really
Yeah.
bad.
Oh yeah, that was a big, big thing from
Yes.
like the 20s to the 50s,
Yeah,
uranium.
uranium.
And I love Bakelite. I have a lot of pieces of Bakelite and celluloid, but
Percolite smells good too.
Bakelite smells like oranges. It
It
smells
does.
so good. And that's how you know you get Charlie. Nuh-uh. Sorry. Um, But that's how you know you have real Bakelite. And if you can't smell your Bakelite, get 409, you spray it on, and then you rub it, and it just smell like
It's
oranges,
just smell
fresh
like it. Yeah,
oranges.
yeah,
hmm
yeah.
but
Um,
Bakelite's another one that has traces of lead
yes,
and
it does.
some scary stuff in it. And people at the 40s ball, because when we were back in the day when we were making clothing and stuff, we'd go to the 1940s ball. They would just rock tons of Bakelite jewelry. I'm like, dude, you guys are wearing like radiation and toxic shit on your
Yeah,
bodies right
yeah. It's
now.
heavy metals. Yeah, heavy
Yeah,
metals. It's really dangerous.
yeah,
You know what it is too, and it's the problem is it's not dangerous right away. And I think that's what people like they don't understand.
yep,
Heavy metals are dangerous because our bodies cannot filter out the heavy metals once they're in us.
yep,
And if it does, it takes like forever. But the
yep,
problem is if you have repetitive exposure to heavy metals, like for instance lead in drinking water,
right.
there is most certainly still lead in a lot of drinking water.
Oh, yeah,
Um, it
yep,
does your body can't filter it out, and the organs that filter these things out, they end up becoming weakened, and that's why you get like liver cancer, and you get,
yep.
like it's your kidneys, it's all these things. People who have gallbladder issues and all these things, um, you have to be super super careful with
That's
specifically lead. I will
like, you
die on this
remember
hill.
old Goldschlager, they used to use a lot of real gold pieces in it, and then people were drinking it, and they were like on dialysis and stuff all of a sudden, and it was because they were drinking the actual gold chunks. I mean, your body's not designed to digest that stuff
No,
at
it's
all,
not. Yeah,
and
that's the
so
thing. We are not like, I mean, listen, there's people who eat like glass and stuff like that who have like pica, like that's an
yeah,
exception, obviously. But
hmm
you can't you can't expose yourself. Like people who are miners, for instance, they do not live long lives. They don't,
yeah,
because they're constantly breathing in, dust and filaments and all this stuff. And it compacts into
yeah,
places. Your lungs are a filtration system, your liver, your kidneys, there's other organs too, obviously, that do similar jobs. If those organs become compromised, your whole system becomes compromised.
yeah,
And the biggest one is lead in water. And Princess just said too, something's going on in my area. All the apartment complex had to complete lead tests and update our leases. It's funny you said that. That happened to me in Connecticut too. In the area I was in, they did lead tests and allegedly there was nothing going on. But anytime I've used like sink water to water my plants would die.
yeah.
So I'm not going to say it was lead, but there were theories that lead was in the water for a while. So
We got a warning not to use our. This was after the freeze happened here. Um, they put something in the water and they suggested don't drink this water or give it to your animals or water your plants with this for several days. You could boil it, and I mean it smelled like a swimming pool when you turned on the
it's like,
faucet.
yeah, like chlorinated. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, they were trying to get rid of all the possible blockages from the last freeze or whatever.
Mm.
And so and if I can't even sorry, I don't know why my comment stopped, um but yeah, so I hey, leave her alone, uh-uh. He'll chase Georgie around and then she gets really crabby. So here, Georgie, me, come here, baby. Okay, you don't have to go. That's fine, whatever. She's like, you're not my real dad. My real dad's on there. Um, but yeah. So it's kind of crazy, all that stuff, and it's good just to pay attention to what we're putting in our bodies, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I mean,
So,
also too, there are some areas, especially in like the Rust Belt cities, where a lot of the pipes for water lines haven't been. Is there a filter on me now?
oh, I don't
Can you
think
see
so.
that?
I don't know, but I don't know. Something
Something
happened.
did
Yeah,
happen.
because everything's frozen. Like I'm not seeing comments now, which
Yeah,
is weird.
that's not
But
good.
so I'm not sure what's going on.
That's
But
weird.
oh,
It
uh,
looks like a filter's on my face. How did this happen?
I don't know. You look like a porcelain
I,
doll.
I do. I don't look. I'm having body dysmorphia.
But
So.
yeah, no, you're good.
But anyway,
Mm,
now that I look like a porcelain doll. Um, so if you live in like any of the Rust Belt cities, a lot of the places that are like unfortunately lower income cities, the infrastructure for water piping has not changed. So there are still lead
Hmm.
pipes that are filtering your water into your homes. And it's really good to look at your municipality and see if like what the lead testing is there. How did this happen to my face?
I don't know. Like everything looks different. I don't know what happened, but
That's
um
so weird. Did
everything like froze up over here.
Instagram do that? That's so weird. All right
Probably.
now.
They've been weird anyways, and we did do the update and all that, but hey, uh-uh. Um oh, it got dark. I don't even
Oh,
know
there we go.
delusion they're barking at now, but
That's so
um
weird. An effect went on my face. Okay, well,
that is
I fixed
really,
it.
really weird. Hey, not you, you're perfect.
Let's see.
Um
Yeah, Dominic said if you live in an older city, most likely your sink water has lead exposure. And that's why I always tell people don't drink the sink water.
and if I'm not responding to comments, I'm not, they just kind of
That's okay.
disappeared. And so, yeah,
I will
which is
respond to
fine.
them.
Yeah, which is
That was weird.
all
We went
right.
through, I'm glad we all made it through that. Sorry I looked very uncanny for a second. That was kind of
That
scary.
was
Well, scary for me,
you're
personally.
glowing, you're
I looked at
glowing.
myself,
Talking about
like, I
radiation, all of a sudden you
was
start
like,
glowing.
speaking of lead paint stare. Jesus Christ.
That's so funny.
Oh
But
my lord.
yeah, it's, I think that especially like we like to collect vintage stuff and everything, and a lot of it, like, especially with morning jewelry, anything with jet. People think jet, the black stone, is called a black stone. It's actually like coal that has been sitting for so long it turns into like a mineral that you can carve, but it really easily breaks. So the Victorian era, when people would die and they're putting people's finger pieces or hair or whatever in the pieces and then crying over the mourning jewelry, they didn't realize that they were getting so sick because they're holding coal in their hand, absorbing all the toxins and poisons from the coal.
Mm,
And
delicious.
and I think they switched to obsidian, which is not a stone either.
I said it was
Um,
like
and then
kind of like glass.
it
Like
is,
that's how
yeah,
it's created.
volcanic
It's like
glass,
volcanic
basically.
glass. Yeah.
Hmm. And then so people really get super sick with that stuff. You're not really supposed to wear that stuff or hold on to that stuff.
No,
Like it's more
it's
of like for
it's more
show.
of like an ornamental thing.
Hmm.
And if you're using it in your practice, your spiritual practice, you're not even really holding it
No.
realistically when you use it.
Mm-mm.
It's more of I don't know, it's more of a like a channel for energy. I don't know what you want to call it, but
Yep.
like it's more of like that kind of thing.
Yeah, it
There's a
is.
lot. Oh my God. Did you see the video of that one girl? She was using was it fluorite? She was using something and she was using it like a chalk stick and drawing a pentacle underneath her welcome mat with it. And I was like, great. Now you basically have the equivalent of fiberglass
Yeah,
everywhere. That's awesome.
yeah. They do that with selenite too, and I'm like, stop doing
Selenite, that's what it
that.
is. Yes, selenite.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then
Yeah, I
people are like, you should bathe with selenite. I'm like, no, what the hell's
no,
wrong
yeah,
with
you
you
want shards
guys?
of glass in your body?
And
Yeah,
now
great.
and not to sound crass in any way, but now they make like sex toys with selenite and other stuff. I'm like, dude, you can't even get that stuff wet.
Well,
Like,
because there's a fancy term for it. It's called water solubility.
yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
if you stick selenite in water, it will start to dissolve. And so you
Mm-hmm.
can't, you really
Yeah.
shouldn't do that.
No,
You-
you can't. And that's like all that gypsum family. Like you can't
yeah,
get
you
it
have all,
wet.
yeah, it's not good.
So
No,
no.
it'll like flake off if you scratch it
Hmm.
about and it'll flake off. But if you leave it in water, I mean, it becomes, I mean, it's kind of like toxic. It becomes unsafe for you,
It does.
realistically.
It is
That,
unsafe
you
for
know,
sure.
that'd be such a great lesson to do for Patreon, actually, water solubility with crystals. Because a
I
lot of
think that
people
we,
don't know that.
yeah, I think we
So
should. Honestly, I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah,
Talk
this.
about some what to not stick in your body.
Hey, don't put this in your body.
I can't believe there's a whole like Instagram page for toys that are made of natural crystals and rocks. Um, that's I know.
I could understand if it was dyed glass. That would be
Yeah,
different.
that's different.
That's different.
Yeah, yeah,
Because whatever. And also too, at least with dyed glass, in my opinion, it may be a little bit more what's the word? Like I don't know, the
yeah,
cleanliness of it might be better. Because some of those crystals, like they are
yeah,
porous, you
yeah.
know.
They're
How are you gonna clean
porous,
that?
and what if one just cut you? And what kind of infection are you bringing back from like I don't know,
The
500
mines of Mordor? Like I
AC?
know where
Yeah,
like where,
like.
do you know what I mean? Like, geez Louise, you don't know where it came from.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's like a
God.
piece of amber dissolving in the bug that hasn't been existent for 5,000 years is all of a sudden alive. Like, what are you bringing back? Like, we've had enough. Don't do this. Just stupid
Yeah,
ideas. And people are making money off of that. And it's
I
just
know.
crazy.
Yeah.
They had so many followers. I'm like, that can't be healthy.
No, no, no.
Like,
It's
there
well,
cannot
it's
be
not.
health benefits to
It's not.
that. So
Let's see. Occasion explained as to which crystals are safe to handle. Yeah, I think that's a good lesson. Okay, we can
I
definitely do that.
think
Um,
that's a great
I think
idea,
that's a great idea.
honestly. So,
Dominic
and I'm
said,
sorry if I'm not responding. I don't see any
no,
comments.
that's
They
okay.
just disappeared.
I will relay the comments.
So, okay.
Dominic said, "Can you be poisoned from some crystals too, like the mineral degrades?" 100%,
Yep.
absolutely. That's why you're supposed to retire some of your crystals after a while. I'm not even
Hmm.
joking. Like that's
Yeah.
literally the reason why.
And
Um,
fluoride's a huge culprit for that because it
because it
breaks
breaks
down with time.
down. Yeah, it
Yeah.
degrades. Yep.
Hmm.
There's
Like
also
you
ones.
never wear it.
No.
So,
Oh my
mm-mm.
God. No. No.
No.
No. No. There's some too that if you don't keep them in the right conditions, they degrade. Like if you keep ones in the
Hmm.
sun, they will degrade.
Yep.
If you keep ones in too like damp of a climate, they degrade. Too dry, they degrade.
Yep.
You know, so like it it it's great to have a collection, but it's more than just having like crow brain of like, oh, shiny rock. Like you have to
Yeah.
also know what is the upkeep or care for this crystal to have it for a long period of time,
Hmm.
especially if you have a big chunk of it. The tumbled ones you can get away with. A lot of the tumbled ones, sorry to break the
Yep.
news to everybody, are usually tumbled dyed glass. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be
A
honest.
lot of
A
them are.
lot of them are
Yeah.
dyed glass,
Yeah.
um the bigger chunks though, if you're looking at like the actual crystal,
Hmm.
that's where we have to be
Yep.
careful. That's, if you're getting like a raw chunk of something, you got to be super careful with it
Yep.
degrading or breaking down.
Yeah.
Don't
I
put it in
agree with that.
water. Some people I was selling, they were
Yeah.
selling crystal water. It was like water that was infused with the properties of a crystal. Like they let the crystal soak in it. I'm like, great, just sell poison water.
Ew.
Awesome. Love
No.
it. That's
What the
stupid.
heck, man?
I
You
don't know.
can't like I mean I really love the look of like the quartz countertops and even granite, but like you could feel that it's not completely smooth. Like and
That's because
we
they're porous. They're
yeah.
porous. They are.
Yeah. And
And
there's it's
you
not
have to be
good.
so careful. You really
Yeah.
have to be so careful. You have to be careful too, because there's a lot of people who are selling crystals, and they're like resin too. And
Yep.
some of that resin isn't safe. Like there are
Mm-mm.
types of resin that are safe, and some of it is not safe.
Yeah.
So like you got to be super careful.
You have to be, and yeah,
Difficult to
most
navigate.
crystals that are like red or orange in color, that's where you're going to get mercury, natural occurring mercury,
You're correct.
and that kind of stuff. So you got to be careful, man.
Yeah,
Like
green is
uh,
very dangerous
green,
too.
green. Yep.
It's
Yeah.
very dangerous
I,
too. You
I
gotta be careful
was.
with yellow
Yeah.
too.
Yep. You just really gotta pay if they're done properly,
Mm,
like with beads and stuff, or they have a glaze to protect you from the
yeah,
stone, then you're usually okay. But like tourmaline is the only piece that I'll carry raw in my pocket because it's not going to break down to anything else. But and usually it's generally okay, and it's never just touching my skin. It's usually like in a pocket.
yeah.
but that's about it.
Yeah.
But rainbow tourmaline, that's a whole other ball. That's like crazy minerals to create those colors,
Hmm.
and they suggest to wash your hands after you touch it and stuff. So,
Yeah, they I know that they have some they do like treat obviously some crystals so that they are like safe to handle. The main thing too is like if you're getting very very cheap crystals, especially if you're like, oh, this should be more expensive, it could be the case that obviously it's either fake or it's not like manufactured properly.
yep.
So it's just something to consider as well. I would always consider if you're getting a larger piece, you go to somebody who's reputable,
Mm-hmm.
so you know that you're purchasing something that is obviously somewhat safe to handle and is what it says it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Merrick said lots of crystals can be cleaned with mineral oil. Yeah, and it's a barrier
Yeah,
against the porosity. 100%. 100%
that's
yes.
true. That is true. Yep. But yeah, so it's kind of nuts.
Mm-hmm.
You just, yeah, and we should do that on our Patreon. Talk about the crystals and some herbs to not burn
Oh my
or
God, that's another thing too. I've been seeing videos of people doing that, burning herbs. God,
and
it's
burning
just
their
like,
crystals in the candles too. Like I'm like, man, do you
yeah.
know you're creating a natural
Well, that's
gas
what it
with
is.
that crystal?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
because they off gas.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing. And it
Like,
creates something that, again, speaking about your body being a filter, when
yep,
your lungs are a filter, when you breathe in smoke from crystals, smoke that's basically created from burning dust particles, and
yep,
those particulates go into your lungs. It's very, very unsafe. It's also unsafe for your pets too. So,
yep.
just be
Gotta be careful.
cautious
Yeah.
when you're burning things. I would love to put together something that's like safe and unsafe to burn.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea because there's quite a few things. I don't know, it just and people are selling these candles for like 60, $70.
Mm,
And like one, I don't want to smell what glitter smells like burning. I don't want to
no,
smell like what
no, yeah,
crystals smell like burning. Like to me, that's not how I was taught, and that's I just thought that was common knowledge, but I I don't know. I just
yeah,
like, okay, you want to inhale that, you go right ahead,
I
but
know.
your
It's
lungs are going to turn black.
it becomes it's like toxic.
Hmm.
On the candles that I make the with like the antique glass, I put like a couple crystal chips on it, but I also
Yeah,
handwrite instructions that say to
yeah,
take the crystals off before you burn it, because I'm
yeah,
not a dummy. So
yeah. No, no.
it's
Um,
to please
and
take the
you're
crystals off before you burn it.
yeah, and yeah, and it's different because how you do yours, like yours, even if they did get hot, aren't going to permit
They're
some
not gonna
crazy gas,
No, and
you
also
know.
too, like
But
I'm putting like little tiny ones that you can just go
yeah,
beep and just take it. I
hmm
literally put it right on the top and I set them on there
yeah,
intentionally so you can just pluck them off. You
and
know
they
what I
look
mean?
pretty that way
Yeah,
too. But
they're aesthetically
yeah,
pleasing. But again, even then, I'm not doing it where the herbs are like erupting into a fire
yeah.
either. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
my
so,
God, I
it's like
know. I try to be careful of that because some herbs burn quicker than others,
they do.
and and some it doesn't matter. But and I usually tell people if you feel like you just need to dump the herbs out of your candle before you burn it, do it. Just put
Just
it in
do it.
front
Yeah.
as an offering, and and so 'cause that's all it is in the candle is the offering for whatever the spirits are in the candle. That's the offering. You can put it in front if you
Correct.
want. Um, I just I don't know. I get that people like to make it really pretty with glitter in their candles and stuff, but man, there's no way to inhale that safely.
No,
Burning
I mean it's basically like
glitter,
plastic.
it is, and you're gonna poison your animals, your plants,
Hmm.
everything. So,
No.
but yeah, so. I guess I just needed to vent about
Yeah.
that because I keep seeing it more often. So
I guess I just needed to complain for an hour and a
I
half.
know,
Ooh.
like, damn, get that out of our systems. Asbestos and lead and
Asbestos, lead, old
I know.
people.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we still collect all the pretty vintage dishes and stuff. Depression glass too has a lot of lead in it, but that's what, unfortunately, it made it really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It gave the red and the purples the purples, and and it does look pretty, but we're not drinking out of
No,
that stuff.
no,
So,
it's the thing is, it's like ornamental.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's
that's
a
all it
collection,
is.
and
And
when
you
you
can't
collect
replace
something,
it.
no, you can't replace it. And the thing is, when
Yep.
you collect something, like I collect a lot of like the I love ceramic Draculas and ceramic vampires, and a lot of
Yeah.
them are from like the 60s and 70s. I
Yep.
don't. I'm not gonna use these salt and pepper shakers. They probably are lead painted. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you don't use these things. You can buy a modern one and do it, obviously,
Yeah.
but a lot of these things, I don't know, they're shelf pieces,
They are
whatever,
shelf pieces.
they're
I
shelf
agree.
pieces.
Yep. And that's kind of just where they go. And we do have two huge crates of this bone china from Japan.
Yeah.
Um, and I can't remember where we got it from, but it has real silver painted
Oh,
around each one, and they're really beautiful. But I'm like, man, this just is asking to give you poisoning somehow. And so they just stay in these crates that we have for now, but there's collectors for that. So I'm like, maybe we should just sell all this stuff. Like
yeah. I
there's no
mean,
room for it.
if we lived in our castle, we could just have a room with a theme, and each room has a theme,
Yep.
and that could be the china that we use in that room,
Yeah,
when we
it's
eat our
crazy.
fake food off of our fancy plates.
Yep. And it's crazy because that stuff was so expensive back in the day, and now I'm like, I don't want to eat on that.
Nah,
So it's kind of funny,
yeah.
but I have a Charlie hair in my contact, I think.
Oh, jeez.
Um, I
Well,
know, little stinker.
Buffy's saying that she has to make dinner. We love you and thank you for
Mm.
being here. We really
Yeah,
appreciate you.
I didn't even realize the time till right now.
I know we blew
So,
through an hour and a half.
ah, totally good with that. What are you gonna eat for dinner? Do you know?
Um, we had dinner earlier.
Oh, okay.
I made a lamb pasta sauce. It was quite
Oh,
delicious. It was very nice.
wow.
So we had
I
that.
got I gotta figure
Oh yeah,
something
yeah. It was like
out.
a lamb
But
bolognese. Um, I don't know. I That's the only thing I've eaten so far today.
yeah,
So we're probably gonna have our second dinner at like 11 o'clock tonight because
yeah,
we usually stay up till like 4 in the morning. So that's like
yeah.
dinner.
Late
Um,
eats. That's what you gotta do sometimes.
yeah.
So
But it was really nice seeing you. I'm sure
it
we'll
was
talk
nice
again
seeing
after this.
you. Oh yeah,
Um,
for sure. And I love you so much.
we're saying
And
goodbye for the week, and it's
I
like no, we're gonna text each other in 4 seconds.
I know.
We never
And
talk to each other ever.
it's so funny. And lives have been weird lately because people aren't getting notified about them recently.
Yes,
So
last night, I had people message me and they said, "Did you do book club last night?" And I was like, "Yes, I
yeah.
did." So
So Instagram has an update that you have to
you have to
do.
update it. And to
So
update it, go to the app, like the
yep.
blue app, and then go into Instagram that way and click on Instagram and it will say
Mm,
update.
yep.
That's how you have to update it. It's
That's
not
it.
going to auto update and
Mm-mm.
it'll say in your app list that it's up to date. It's not. You have to
No.
go all the way in. That's what we had to do last night. And I was
Yeah.
so infuriated, but it's
Yeah.
fine.
But it worked today
It
though,
worked just fine
which was great.
today. Yes,
Yeah.
it did. So
So
I'm very, very happy with that.
yeah, but well, I will talk to you in just a bit then,
Excellent.
and I'm gonna figure out something to eat. I have drank way too much liquid for sure. I'm like, whew, man. Um, I'm all shaky from my coffee. I'm like, I didn't think I made it that strong. I'm
Yeah.
like, dang,
Yeah.
I could tell I need to eat something just to kind of balance that
Yeah, no,
out.
it's fine. Well,
But
I
thank
hope
you
to see. Oh,
everyone for being here.
oh, thank you everyone for being here too. Yes, we love you guys, and I will talk to you very soon.
Yes.
And Seth will have probably another live on Saturday to see you all.
Yep, Saturday. We have a lot of rituals this
We do
week too,
have a
so
lot of rituals this week, so
yeah,
we will
there's a lot
be
going on.
updating you all here shortly on everything going
Yeah,
on.
yep. And so, but I love you, and
I
I'll
love
talk
you.
to you soon.
I will talk to you
And
again soon.
thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys soon.
Yes, thank you for being here. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.